Thousands of Coloradans gathered on President's Day with messages for the current president, many of them unrepeatable on family TV. The anti-Trump protest is the largest demonstration in Denver since the social justice protests of 2020. Our Mark Salinger was there.
On a snowy President's Day in Denver, the president was the target of the protests.
Donald Trump has got to go!
This is the largest crowd we've seen for a single demonstration in Denver since the 2020 Black Lives Matter movement. Thousands of people protesting Donald Trump and the policies he's enacted since he took office. Everyone has their own reason for being here.
It's just a lot of anger and fear.
Brianna Bosch owns Blossom and Branch Farm in Lakewood. She worries her small local business won't be able to survive the new tariffs threatened by Trump.
Tariffs coming from Canada now. Of course, that hits our fertilizer prices, so all of our potash comes from Canada. So that makes our prices skyrocket.
Army retiree, 24 years.
George Lee comes from a family of veterans. His father served, he served, his son serves. Now he says he's fighting again.
I'm not fighting for me. I'm an old guy. I'm 75. But I have two kids. You know, I got a 34-year-old daughter and a 32-year-old son. I'm fighting for them. And my daughter is expecting a baby in August, and I'm hoping for a better world for them.
While the number of people here rivaled some protests in 2020, the number of elected officials that joined was far fewer. The governor, mayor, senators, representatives, and most state leaders weren't present to protest the president outside the Capitol walls.
So what I want to see is action in here. Action in here and supporting with lawsuits like we're seeing from the Attorney General. That's going to mean a lot more than just coming out here and getting on a mic.
Ian Thomas Tafoya is a community leader advocating for clean energy. He also ran for mayor of Denver in 2023.
Been here before. This isn't our first time with the Trump administration and the impacts and cuts to the key environmental programs that I work so closely with.
Trump and Musk have got to go!
On a snowy, cold President's Day in Denver, protesters hope marches like this send a message to the White House.
Momentum. I want more people to not feel afraid to speak up.
There were protests back in the summer of 2020 that saw tens of thousands of people gathering in Civic Center Park. To be clear, today's numbers didn't match that, not even close. But there were still a whole lot of people, the most that we've seen since those BLM movements back in 2020. Though last week's protests against the ICE raids here in Colorado also turned out to be quite big. Organizers tell me they're trying to put more protests together in the future, Kyle.
It can be sometimes difficult when you're looking online to see like what's getting traction, what's going to get big, right? But these protests were part of like a 50-state operation.
There were a lot of people that said that on this President's Day, they are going to protest saying this is not my president. That's what they were out saying. There were a whole lot of signs with a whole lot of issues saying, I don't support this, I don't support that, but they all gathered today as one.
All right, Mark Salinger, thank you.